she's already running. This is the spotted hyena. 3 kilometers into a chase, jaws inches from a wildebeest twice her size. And everything you think you know about her is a lie. In the Serengeti, it's the lion who steals from her, more often than she steals from the lion. Tonight, in the Ngorongoro Crater, a queen who answers to no male alive is about to prove it. 2 to 3 million years ago, a volcano here collapsed in on itself and left behind the largest intact caldera on Earth. Today, that collapse is a fortress. A bowl of grassland and Soda Lake, sealed on every side by walls 600 meters high. Nothing walks in or out of the Ngorongoro Crater without permission from what already lives here. And what lives here does not answer to the old rules of the Serengeti ecosystem beyond the rim. Out there, across the open plains, the lion is king. In here, in this closed green world, that title belongs to someone else. This is the territory of one spotted hyena clan, built on a matriarchal hierarchy so rigid that every single female outranks every single male from birth. It is one of 8 competing clan structures that share this crater floor, and none of them share it peacefully. Somewhere in this crater, a pride of lions is about to learn who really owns the night. For now, at dawn, the grass is calm. Fever trees stand black against a rising sun, their canopies flat as tabletops. Lake Magadi shimmers pink at the crater's floor, thick with soda and the promise of 100,000 flamingos. The green season has turned the crater floor into the richest hunting ground in East Africa, which means it is also the most contested. Every clan here is an apex predator in its own right, and every clan here has to prove it again every single day. But before the war between clan and pride plays out in daylight, the crater has a whole other layer of life to survive first. A world too small for a lion to ever notice. And in the wet grass beneath every hoofprint on this crater floor, something even the hyena has to answer to. Down here, in the wet, black soil beneath the grass, the food chain doesn't start with the hyena at all. It starts with something the size of a fingernail. A dung beetle, glossy and black, has found the dropping of a wildebeest herd that passed through at dawn. In under an hour, working alone, it will shape a piece of that dropping into a ball many times its own body weight, and roll it in an almost perfectly straight line away from every rival that wants to steal it. To do that, on a crater floor with no landmarks, it looks up, and it navigates by the stars, by the faint pale smear of the Milky Way itself. It is not alone down here. A raiding column of Matabele ants moves through the grass roots like a single black river. Hundreds of individuals in perfect file, hunting termite colonies far larger than their own. When a soldier is injured in the raid, its nestmates don't leave it behind. They carry it home. Triage in an insect with no brain bigger than a grain of rice. Scientists studying these ants have watched the wounded be groomed back into fighting shape by their rescuers within an hour, a recovery rate high enough to be worth the risk of the rescue. It is, by any definition, a form of triage that predates human medicine by tens of millions of years. Not everything down here is so orderly. At the edge of the Soda Lake, where Lake Magady's pink water meets the mud, clouds of brine fly rise and fall in shimmering waves, feeding the waiting flamingo chicks above. Every single one of these lives is bottom of chain. Every single one of them is also load-bearing. Remove the dung beetle, and the grass stops cycling nutrients back into the soil. Remove the ant column, and the termite mounds that aerate this entire crater floor grow unchecked. This is the foundation the rest of the crater's drama stands on. A foundation built entirely out of animals too small for a lion to ever notice. But before she can rule this crater, she has to survive being born at the bottom of it. And moving through the drier grass beyond them, a tsetse fly waits, wings folded flat like a closed pair of scissors for the vibration of a passing herd. A single bite can carry a parasite that has shaped the entire history of this ecosystem, deciding for millennia where the herds and their predators were even allowed to live. And beneath a flat stone, in the day's remaining shade, a scorpion waits with its tail curved low over its own back, patient in a way that makes even the crater's biggest predators look reckless. By mid-morning, the crater floor is finally awake in full. A herd of blue wildebeest, thousands strong, grazes the green flush left by last night's rain, grunting low across the grass. Plains zebra move between them in loose family bands, each stripe pattern as individual as a fingerprint. And along the tree line, a small group of Cape buffalo stands shoulder to shoulder, watching everything, trusting nothing. This is prey enough to feed every predator in the crater twice over, which is exactly the problem. At the clan's den, a different kind of mourning is underway. A greeting ceremony, every hyena in the group lifting a hind leg to expose itself to a clanmate, in a ritual of trust that only works because everyone already knows exactly where they rank. That rank was decided the day each of them was born. A female spotted hyena does not simply give birth. She gives birth through a birth canal built almost identically to a male's genitalia, one of the strangest anatomical solutions in the entire animal kingdom, and one still not fully explained by science. It makes birth itself dangerous for mother and cub alike, and it is only the beginning of the danger. Because twin cubs are born already able to see, already able to walk, and already able to fight. Within hours of birth, twin hyena cubs will attack each other, establishing which one outranks the other for life. It is one of the most violent starts to life of any mammal on Earth. And it is the reason the sound she makes when she wins isn't laughter at all. That call, the one the world nicknamed a giggle, is a submission signal, a stress vocalization used almost exclusively by the loser of a conflict, or a cub establishing its place in a fight it cannot afford to lose. Every hyena in this crater has been fighting for rank since the day it opened its eyes. The one leading this clan today survived that fight, decades of clan politics, and every rival clan on this crater floor to answer to no one. Later, this same research would show something else. Across 7 years of study on this ecosystem, roughly 1 in every 3 hunts by this clan ends in a kill, a hunting success rate rivaling any cat on this crater floor. Scavenging, when it happens, is opportunism, not survival. This clan doesn't wait for meals to die, it makes them happen. A short distance away, at the eastern tree line, a pride of lions is stirring from the shade, bellies still round from a kill made under yesterday's dark. They do not know yet that this clan has been watching them since dawn. Or that this crater's matriarch has already decided today is the day to test them. The stalk begins the way it always does in this crater, not with a chase, but with a decision. The clan's matriarch moves first, flanked by 3 of her senior daughters, straight toward the pride's territory. It is broad daylight, it is deliberate, and it is exactly the kind of confrontation the old myth says should never happen. Popular belief says the lion is always dominant, and the hyena only moves at night, only steals, only runs. The clan crossing this open ground in full sun is already breaking that rule. A lioness rises first, ears flat, a low warning already building in her throat. Behind her, 2 more lionesses close the gap. For a long moment, on a crater floor that has settled this argument 1,000 times before, neither side moves. Then the whooping starts. Not one hyena, all of them. A call that carries for miles across a sealed crater with nowhere for the sound to escape, summoning every member of the clan within earshot to converge on this exact spot. Within minutes, what was 3 lionesses facing 4 hyenas becomes 3 lionesses facing 11. The math on this crater floor always eventually favors the clan. This is not the coward's calculation the old stereotype describes. It is a social intelligence built on individual recognition. Every hyena in that converging group knows exactly who else is coming and exactly how many they need before this becomes worth the risk. Somewhere, half a mile away, a research camera has spent 20 years recording exactly this pattern. A clan structure where numbers are not counted by instinct, but assessed deliberately before a single move is made. The lionesses read the numbers too. One by one, they give ground. It will not be the last time this happens on this crater floor today, and it will not be the last time the numbers favor the same side. But the matriarch has already lost interest in the standoff, because half a kilometer away, a young blue wildebeest has strayed from the safety of the herd, and she isn't the only animal in this crater the world already judged before understanding. The wildebeest lifts its head. Too late. Downwind, low in the grass, 3 young hyenas have already peeled off from the celebrating clan, testing the wind, reading the herd's nervous shuffle for the one animal not quite keeping pace. This is how it always starts, not with speed, with patience. A single wrong step, a slight limp, an old injury not fully healed, and the whole crater seems to lean toward it at once. The chase that started this film, 3 kilometers of open dust, is about to begin exactly here. she is already running. The line that opened this film. 3 young hunters, then 6, then the whole hunting party strung out across the crater floor in a pursuit that will cover nearly 3 kilometers before it ends. The blue wildebeest is faster in a straight line. It does not matter. The clan does not need to be faster. It needs to not stop. This is an endurance hunt, not a sprint, built on a cardiovascular system that can sustain a working pace for far longer than the animal running from it. Dust rises in a column visible from the crater rim. The herd scatters, then reforms, then scatters again. Every wildebeest instinctively using every other wildebeest as cover. It doesn't work for the one already failing at the back. Contact. The chase ends the way it always ends on this crater floor. Fast, decisive, and already over by the time the dust clears enough to see it. Within minutes, the whoop call goes up again, and this time it means something different. Not a summons to battle, an invitation to feed. By the time the sun is directly overhead, there's almost nothing left where the wildebeest fell. A clan of this size can reduce a kill this large to bone in under an hour. A processing speed no lion pride on this crater floor can match. And true to the pattern this research has documented for over 20 years, it is a lion pride, drawn by the smell of blood on the wind, that arrives at the very end, hoping to take over what the clan already finished. This time, the clan holds its ground. This time, the lions leave hungry. In the Serengeti ecosystem beyond this crater's rim, the numbers say this happens more than the old story ever gave them credit for. The lion stealing from the hyena more than the hyena ever steals from the lion. The world had the whole story backward. Tonight, back at the den, cubs too young to hunt will fight over rank they inherited at birth, in a matriarchal hierarchy that has run this crater for longer than any pride of lions has held it. And somewhere in that fight, a familiar sound will rise into the evening air, mistaken for over a century for laughter. She has spent her whole life being called a monster, for surviving better than almost anything else on this crater floor. But the hyena isn't the only misunderstood killer out here. There's another one, circling the sky above every kill she makes, and it's despised even more than she is.